All right, this is a very good question because it applies to everyone. First of all, in childhood for all of you is probably the highest karmic time of your life. From the time you're born till about 15 years old. These are your karmic years. You don't really have your wits about you. You are learning in a high learning curve. You don't have life experience, really. And this is when you attract to yourself karmic situations as a sort of blowback, payback. What I did comes back to me. And this is primarily when all people experience some of their damaging, traumatic, life-shaking, life-imprinting events. It's quite common. In that capacity, you spend then many years after 15 growing up, gathering life experience, attempting to figure out maybe what happened, or run from it, or hide from it. And then after you get to be about 50, if you live that long, the healing starts to come in. It's the time to heal, the time to accept the releasing of the damage, the pain, the burden, the charge, the emotional charge that the event has. On earth, you are defined in your humanity by your emotions. It is the key to being human, your emotionality. Your emotions are keys to your beliefs. Follow your emotions, get in touch with your emotions, and they will lead you to your beliefs. Your beliefs can be carried over from lifetime to lifetime, just as what you set into motion in one lifetime can come back to you in another. Or you experience something from another lifetime coming back again in childhood, adolescence. How to heal it? Many, many years ago, when people ask us these questions, we would say that all healing is based on reinterpreting or re-understanding what you believe happened to you. On some level, you have injustice. You have criminality. You have laws. You have legalities. And in your world, you pursue these things. If someone does a violation to you and it is against the law, such as, let's say, the Catholic Church, the Roman Catholic Church is all caught up in not just sins, but criminal activity. Do you understand this? Mm-hmm. This is criminal activity. It's not about God forgiving beings. This is about justice based on your law. These are the mass agreements. And even though you may gain justice, any of you, for an injustice that occurred to you, there's still the emotion. The emotion holds a charge because it looks as if someone did this to me. To help you free yourself, we ask each of you to, on your wounds, where someone betrayed, cheated, violated, whatever it is, because you all have it. John Paul is just articulating it for you. He's articulating the mass question. Someone damaged me. How do I get past this? Is everyone's issue. Wrap your head around the idea that at some point you did the same thing. Ouch. Yes? Yes? Yes. Ouch. Yet in the multiverse, God's not going bad being. No. Nor is the goddess going bad being. You have the ultimate freedom to act as stupid as you want. To be as morally decrepit as you choose. To be as oblivious, to be as violent, to be whatever. And you may get away with it for a while. But here's the thing: in the nanosecond, it comes back faster and faster. So your world leaders will take care of themselves with their own messes. But what will happen to you is that you will want to heal the rocks, the burdens, the heavy stuff you carried where they did it to me. They did this, they did that. And so what you do is you say, just imagine that maybe in another lifetime, make it far away, you don't have to make it close, that I was on the other end, that I did this, and then what would make me do that? Well, what would make me do it? I was unaware, I was ridiculous, now I'm on the receiving end, to understand the power of my own creativity. On some level, you may not necessarily become lovingly forgiving with the person, but what you do is you free yourself from blaming them. Do you understand? And then by all means you must assess the person for who they are and understand that they too are caught up in something that you have been caught up in. But when you recognize, hey, maybe I was them in another lifetime, I wouldn't do that now, wow. And if you wouldn't do it now, that means you've progressed enough to recognize not to do the behavior and not to penalize or blame someone else for what you have created on the emotional level. It's valiant to heal in this way, to see things from another perspective, to understand the laws of cause and effect, how they will play out. And then once you yourselves gain an understanding, it's like a little lock goes into the key, and suddenly everything's not the same because you're not holding the same charge. Do you understand? When you change the way you see things, the way you used to see things isn't there anymore. And as you change, all the other people involved are affected by your change of perspective. When you lighten your load, you free humanity. And this summer is about a massive healing of humanity, a massive rising above victimhood, especially when it comes to extraterrestrials, giants, hidden information, all these things. Does that help you, John Paul?
Yes. To me, I was a baby.
That is all right. We said that's when the karma comes back, when you have no power. Do you understand that?
Yes.
That is why many of you will get your most karmic situations in youth, because there's nothing you can do about it. The older you get smarter, ideally, every time you zoom around the sun. Ideally, you start to get some smarts, you figure things out, you're not reactive, or you can fend something off or sense something coming. So your biggest emotional wounds will often happen, as we said, from the time you're born, sometimes even in the womb, and then up till about 15, or Saturn opposite Saturn. Questions?
Yes.
Who is it, please?
Lewis.
Lewis, loud and clear. Welcome.
Okay, in other
A little louder, please. In other?
in other presentations you have given, you speak of 2012 and you say there will be a splitting of the worlds. Now, I don't think you mean some comet striking the Earth and breaking it in half, but on the subatomic level, the entire physical universe blinks in and out of physicality trillions of times per second. You call it the nanosecond. It always goes back to pure spirit, infinitely fast, omnipresent, and then collapses back down into individual subatomic particles. Now, if that comes back into physicality in a different phase relationship to where it left, you can skip timelines or time and space travel, go across the galaxy and so forth. So,
And if we may add something here, that is a little bit of what is being stirred up this summer. We'll come back to and let you continue in a moment, but part of humanity's problem in abdicating their inner knowing, their psychic abilities, their grander self, etc., and becoming overly immersed in machines and details and things of this nature, you have lost touch with multidimensional time, and you have become trapped in linear time. so that you cannot understand it. As Lewis is saying, you are constantly being revitalized always. The energies are there, they are collapsing, they are reforming, and they're always responding to how you feel.